Welcome back. You joined me on a rainy Monday morning just as I'm embarking on my final trip to London for my current employer. I finished this job on Friday the 6th of September and I'll be officially unemployed for 6 weeks. My wife Dana's never actually been to London, so I figured I would take the action camera and my microphones with me on this trip so that she can see all the excitement or lack of that is included in a trip to London when you're working and not being a tourist. Sometimes I think she believes that when I go to London, it's all visiting the king and eating crumpets at the palace. But it's really not. It's a lot of boring sitting around in hotels and airports. So we'll take you on the journey and show you what that's like. This is my final week as a product manager working for a company in London. I've just put Edinburgh Airport into the sat-nav and it says it's going to take us 24 minutes. I'm going to go down the motorway because it is such heavy rain. The one downside to filming and driving at the same time I've noticed immediately is I can't listen to my music. I don't give a what, na 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 na. This is part of the problem. The sat-nav says, oh yeah, it'll take 24 minutes. And then you get stuck behind a Renault that doesn't want to go faster than 30 miles an hour in a 40 zone. It's always a good time. So hopefully we have no delays today. Every trip I come to London, it seems the public transport lets me down. And that's why I'm looking forward to this hopefully being my last trip to London for a very long time. Public transport in the UK is terrible. I'm having that space. That's my space. Okay, so we've just parked up at the long stay in Edinburgh Airport car park. Yeah, excitement number one. Parking the car at the airport. You're really not missing anything exciting when I do these trips, Dana, but this one's for you. We have parked at station C3. We now have to walk to the airport. Let me just double check I locked the car. I did. So here it is, the obligatory big Edinburgh sign at the airport. That's me on the London City at 120, BA 8705. So finally made it through security, which is always a nightmare, but seems to be incredibly busy today for some reason, and now it's time to find breakfast. So I'm sitting here reading the Wetherspoons menu and I'm thinking the prices have gone up because of, inflation. I can expense £10 for breakfast, and if I get the chicken bites that I usually get, it's going to cost me £9.50 plus £3 for my can of Monster, which obviously is more than the £10 I can expense. So I might actually go and have a look at Boots and WH Smith, see what their meal deal is, see if they've got a can of Monster. Inflation is ruining everything. So I've just spotted there is actually a Cafe Nero. And with the 3 Plus app, I might actually be able to get my my £1 drink. £1 Cafe Nero, get my reward. There we go. I'm going to give him a 3-star because the guy was kind of annoyed, but I think it's because he hadn't had a break since 5:30 this morning. That's the previous flight just landed and they're coming off and we'll be about to board probably in about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's us. We'll be flying on Yankee November today. Is this where I go? Waiting for my bag to come from the airplane is boring as hell. Okay, so we have landed at London City, and the next step in the journey is to take the DLR to Tower Gateway. Unlike the rest of London's underground, the DLR doesn't have any gates, and so it's entirely possible to actually use the service for free. I have, in the past, accidentally forgotten to scan in or accidentally forgotten to scan out. And what happens when you do that is basically you get charged for the whole day. It's something like £3.60 or something. It's not terrible, but and I can expense it, so it's no big deal. But let's see if this is the train I want to get on. This one's going to Bank, and I want to go to Canning Town. So yeah, I could probably get on this one if I'm quick. So what we've just done is we got on at the London City Airport and we've come to Canning Town, where we now have to switch to a different train on platform 4 because we're going over here to Tower Gateway. Again, the DLR is actually a self-driving train, so there's not always a conductor on it. Now, because you are on, it's above ground, but technically London Underground, just any trains in London, it's generally a good idea to stand with your back against a wall of some kind, because there has been cases recently where people will push you in front of a train when it's coming if you're standing on the yellow line. We have made it to Tower Gateway, and this is where I always fail to find that payment machine, right? The thing I was telling you that I need to swipe to scan out, but I can actually see people, I can see where it is. I think this might be the first time I've actually used it, so I'll go and use this one. It's really funny, you can walk around London with your phone out and nobody will notice. You walk around London holding an action camera and everybody looks at you like you're crazy. I am after the hotel. I'm going to be going to try and find Coco Ichibana, which I don't usually do in London, so it's actually not a fair representation of a standard trip. Normally I would then just do a Just Eat to the hotel, but because this might be my last London trip for potentially years, I am going to go and try and find Coco Ichibana, which is a Japanese curry fast food chain. Think of it like Burger King, but for katsu curry with rice. Once I'm checked in, we're going to go and head over and try and find that. Apparently it's like 40 minutes away on public transport, so it's not my idea of fun, but I don't usually get to London this early either. Usually when I get to London, it's like 9 o'clock at night, it's not worth going anywhere. You just do a Just Eat to the hotel. However, it's like 4:30, so we'll go out and do that because tomorrow night and Wednesday night, we are doing leaving drinks with my colleagues. I had tried to get the company to put me inside these apartment hotels so that I could buy food from Tesco and actually cook it myself. But apparently they're always booked up for like 6 months in advance, and so I get put in the Premier Inn, which, if I'm honest, is actually not that bad. It's quite a nice place. This actually looks like it might be a disabled room. No, it's not quite the thing. But it's got quite a large shower with the sink and the toilet. So this will be home for the next 3 days. So the lighting in my hotel room absolutely sucks, but after just a very quick freshen up, I've tried to dry myself so that I'm not a sweaty mess anymore. Seriously considering creating a t-shirt for the channel that just says I'm a sweaty mess. Not going to waste any time, because if it's going to be 40 minutes between here and the curry house, then I'm going to head now because I'm going to be hungry by that point. So you can see some of the expensive part of London, and whatever this building is, I don't know. As you can also see, people think I'm crazy for filming because this is just a really boring back street. I'm walking towards the Old Gate underground station, where I'll take the Metropolitan line and then I believe the Jubilee line. This one has gates to Farringdon and then changing to the Elizabeth line. So I'm going to go to Elizabeth line, platform B. So we've just got off the Elizabeth line at Bond Street, and once I can figure out how to get out of here, it actually is supposed to be pretty damn close. I wear my headphones not because I'm actually listening to something else whilst I'm doing this video, but because wearing headphones avoids people trying to bother you, and it just makes you look a bit more standoffish, and that is the vibe I'm going for right now. God, there's definitely a reason I don't come to this part of town when I'm in London. It is so ram-packed with people. Another reason I want to make this video for you, Dana, is that you hate crowds of people more than me, but you keep telling me you want to come to London. So maybe if I show you just how busy it can get in the touristy areas, you'll decide that you don't actually want to come to London. Curry House Coco Ichibana. You'll have seen I just took some silent videos of the food and the menu in the restaurant. There was a lot of people in there and I didn't want to be rude and talk over them all having their meal. But I will say this, price was not bad, very filling, and it tasted very authentic to the real thing in Japan. I bought you a gift, Dana. More on that later when we get back to the hotel. There's just one thing, I got in there around about 5 o'clock and it was basically empty. I got a seat with no wait time, that was excellent. It is now 10 to 6 and I had my meal and there was people queuing at the door to get a table. So if you are going to go and you want that authentic Japanese experience, I do recommend you go early. So Dana, it's now 20 to 7 and I'm back at the hotel room. I have a cider to keep me going. And this is fairly average for the first night. I'd be in the hotel room probably about this time, maybe 9 o'clock at night, depending on when my flight or train got me in. I'd be ordering food about this time and calling you. So we'll do that after this. I'll give you a call. But I wanted to show the viewers the little gift that I got you. So when I first came to London, I got you a gift. I think it was a magnet. And this will potentially be my last trip to London for a little while anyway. So we've got you a little mug from the curry shop. With that, that's the end of day 1. Tomorrow I'll be in the office and then drinking afterwards. Same with Wednesday, and then Thursday we're flying home. Okay, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, day 2. I did not sleep particularly well last night. I only had 2 ciders. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling exhausted. I think you can even hear it in my throat. Something's not quite right. Anyway, it's the morning of day 2. Obviously I'm going to the office, so I'm dressed in my shirt and jeans. What I'll typically do on the mornings is I will nip past Tesco and grab 1 or 2 meal deals, sometimes 2 because I can expense them both that way. The way it works at my company is I get £10 for breakfast to expense it, but I don't get any lunch expense allowance. So if I buy 2 meal deals, I can get breakfast and lunch all within the £10 and that gets approved. I'm looking for at least 1 can of Monster and a couple of sandwiches. This is my breakfast and my lunch. So after my club card discount, so it was £8.70. So yeah, this is where we get to some of the interesting sights near the office. So this is obviously the Tower of London, and you can see the Shard protruding behind it. And then we've got Tower Bridge, which is just there. And behind that, just to the left, is St Catherine's Docks, which is where we're heading. It'd be funny if it was on camera, me not respecting the red men or green men. This is Tower Bridge. This is the one that opens up in the middle to let the boats through. One of the iconic London skyline. You can start to see it around here, but the area that I work in is called St Catherine's Docks. So we come down here. There's a series of pubs. So when I first joined the company, we used to go to the Slug quite a lot. We don't do that anymore. And across the water is a place called the Dickens, and we go to that instead. Okay, so I'm a little bit hesitant about making this clip on the video. If you're watching this far, you'll see that my SKD tour earlier got cut short because one of my colleagues from the sales team actually walked down the street next to me and we were kind of approaching the office at the same time, and I didn't want to film him and I ended up in a conversation with him. So that was me walking towards the office, and yeah, I got stopped, but that's around SKD. The office is in that area. Anyway, we are fast forwarding now. It's now 10 to 12. I have got back to the hotel and I'm ordering my KFC dinner, which cost me £27.48. But I will have to pay £7.48 of that myself and expense the rest back to the company. However, I'm in the hotel and I've had several ciders and rum and cokes because I have my leaving drinks tonight with the company. But it was fun. There was about 20 people there, and yeah, fairly drunk. I've got to be in the office for around 9, half 9 in the morning. But I wanted to make a video just to, you know, make sure we capture the entire experience that this is Drunk Miles, and I have phoned Dana, or Dana called me rather, just to check in and make sure that I'm back at the hotel. It is Wednesday morning. I have a bit of a rough throat, but you know what, all in all I feel fine. My KFC came, I ate all 8 pieces of chicken, which I was surprised I was able to. I'm glad I did, because as I say, now it's about 8, half past 8 in the morning, and I feel perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go to the Tesco to get my meal deals again, my breakfast, and then we'll head across to the office. I'm currently walking over Tower Bridge. It's 11:30 on Wednesday night. I've had a few drinks tonight, but nowhere near as many as last night. My stomach couldn't take it. And I've had a big bottle of water, so I actually feel pretty fine. Mixed emotions today because this is my last day in the London office. I gave my laptop back, I gave my ID badge back, and I've said goodbye to friends that I've had for 4 years. I don't know when I'll be back to London. I don't know if it'll be next month or in 3 years' time. I have no real reason to come. The new job doesn't require it, but I would like to see these people again, so maybe I will come down for some of their leaving drinks. There are a number of other people who are also leaving the company, and I'll probably use the opportunity to come and see them. In Scotland, I don't drink at all. To be drinking for 3 nights in a row just doesn't fit my lifestyle. Tomorrow, we'll get up a bit later than usual because I've basically booked the whole day off for travelling home. We'll document basically the reverse trip from Monday going back to Scotland. I say it's a little bit bittersweet tonight. We have the Shard there with the lit top, and then you can also see the walkie-talkie. There's a military ship over there in the water, I don't know if you can see it or not. And then of course there's the Tower of London. With that, we're coming to the end of Tower Bridge, and that feels like a fitting close for the night. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow on the trip back to Scotland. Good morning. So you join me in the local Wetherspoons across the road from my Premier Inn hotel. I have never had breakfast here before, but I have had food here a couple of times. When I've been by myself, you can get a meal and a drink for less than the £20 expense limit for evening meals here, so it's quite good to do that if you're by yourself and don't want to do a just eat at the hotel. I haven't had breakfast here before though, so I'm going to order that now. I'm going to get the traditional breakfast and a hot chocolate. So this is what came in about 10 minutes. I need to go and make up my hot chocolate. It's a Galaxy hot chocolate and my traditional breakfast, all for less than £10. That's the Goodman's Field. That's where I had my breakfast. End of an era. There's been some good times. It has been fun in London, but I'm not going to miss the company, let's put it that way. I'm looking forward to where I'm going next. I'm meeting my new employers next week for an office tour and a dinner before I start with them later in October. Thinking I will do a live stream. I haven't done one of those in a while. Tomorrow night. And we'll talk to you about what's next for me, MyAirMyles, and potentially even a second channel. This is Tower Gateway. This pub, the Minories, is pretty good. A lot of folk have their evening drinks there. They've got a kind of beer garden in the back, and so if you're traveling with smokers, then they like that. I've just seen this, and I really think that should be my out of office once I leave the company. I'm just joking, the train's here. Here we are. Everybody tries to take the escalator. It is actually more efficient to take the stairs. Right, the police might want me to stop filming as we go through the airport. I'm coming home, Dana. One last time. Oh boy, did I call that. The camera was turned off, and it was just on the end of my selfie stick as I was walking through the check-in area of the airport as I was about to get up the escalator to go through security, and the armed police came over and approached me because I had a green flashing light on my neck, which is obviously my DJI wireless microphone, and then there's the DJI receiver attached to my DJI Action 4 action camera, so they didn't like all the green flashing lights and came to find out what was happening. I might have got 2 new subscribers out of it, which would be interesting, and they let me keep all my kit, so all good. Thought I'd just put that little anecdote in there though. Yep, if you are in airports with wireless radio devices attached to you, the police might come and have a word with you. I am finally back in the car here at Edinburgh Airport. My plane was meant to leave London City at 2:05 and arrive in Edinburgh at 3:25. We were wheels up from London City at 3:30, so 5 minutes after I was supposed to arrive at Edinburgh. I landed 40 minutes ago, so that would have been 5:20. It's now 5:20. I haven't had lunch yet. I did buy lunch this morning at Tesco, so I will have at least half of my chicken sandwich before I drive home. What I've learned from this trip is probably don't drink 3 nights in a row, do 2 days worth of handover, and then try to battle public transport. It is physically exhausting. I am home soon. I'm excited to meet Dana again, and also to go and pick up the dogs. So I have to go and do that first on the way. I don't know if I'll get home before she does. She finishes work at 6. It's now 5:20, so it'll be somewhat of a race, whilst I'm going to be stuck in rush hour traffic on a Thursday night in Edinburgh. So she's probably going to win.